I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm winning.
Elevation Nation Conversations, God, Body, Sean. Peace and blessings, peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Elevation Nation Conversations, God, Body, Sean. That's me, and I'm here. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Tap that like, share, subscribe button. You know the drill. Get them likes up, get them shares up, get them subscribes up. I've been busy. I'm doing grown man shit. But I saw this video. I want y'all to check it out, man. All those luxury handbags, you know, us men and us brothers out there buying, and the ladies out there loving and getting. I want y'all to see where a lot of this shit come from. I know a lot of y'all already know, or you know, have some type of idea. But with those Trump tariffs going on, basically America and China, you know, they at war. They putting them tariffs on each other. But this Asian guy right here, Japanese guy, Chinese, whatever, he finna tell y'all where them bags come from and how much the cost it is that they make, and then what you turn around and pay for it. Then I'm gonna come back and give y'all my take on it. All right, let's get to it.
Say as long as there's a tag.
Family and fellow soldiers, I'm the Professor, and this is the moment of truth.
Some say as long as there's a tag saying made in China, the bag can never be luxury. However, in fact, more than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China. But those luxury brands just won't acknowledge that. They take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own factories and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that. That way, the bags will appear at their boutiques as made in Italy or made in France. You know, those sophisticated European countries, which make you feel mysterious, royal, and thus luxury. Now, close your eyes. Let's just do a little, very easy experiment in your head, okay? Imagine that you have an Hermes bag, and suddenly the label on it changed from made in France into made in China, while everything else, like leathers, zippers, and hardware remain the same. Do you suddenly feel that your bag is not as luxury as before? If you do, that means you have been misled and poisoned by the market campaign of those too long. Welcome to the real world. Now you see, those bags are made in China by our intelligent and diligent Chinese artisans. Let's not be poisoned and misled by the market campaign any longer, and be a real person. Buy a bag from us, from our factory in China. See the real world for yourself. Birkin bag at Hermes boutique will cost you 38,000 USD. But what is the real cost out of the factory? Today, I'm going to break it down in front of you, step by step. First thing first, Hermes only use the leathers from the 3 top-level suppliers. One is called Beauty from Italy. And the second is Weinheimera from Germany. And the third is Haas from France. One piece of Togo leather, the same leather as this one, will cost 450 USD. And one piece of the leather is only enough to make one Birkin, okay? The thread. And of course, for Hermes Birkin, the thread is also the best top level. It's called Fil à Chinois from France. This is actually the Rolls Royce in thread. For each bag, the cost is 25 USD. And then the hardware. See, this hardware is called 316 hardware. It's also known as the ocean stainless steel because it can withstand the erosion of seawater. It's the best stainless steel. For one piece of bag, the hardware will cost 150 USD. The edge oil. This edge oil is imported from Italy. It's called heat sealed edge oil. For each bag, it will cost 50 USD. The interior lining, it used lambskin imported from France. For each bag, the cost will be 100 USD. And also inside, there is a zipper from Riri brand. And the zipper for one bag is 10 USD. And then the cost of human resource. The French artisans is much more expensive than Chinese artisans. To finish one bag, the human resource cost will be 600 USD. The package, now this is not that expensive, it's 10 USD. So now to sum those up, the total cost will be 1,400 USD for one Birkin out of factory. But why Hermes will charge you 38,000 USD for one bag? That's because more than 90% of the price is paid for its logo. But if you do not care about the logo, you just want the same quality, same material, you can just buy from us. Because for our bags, we use exactly the same material, same leather, same hardware, same edge oil. The only difference is one, we don't have the logo, so we don't have to pay so much amount of money just for that logo. And second, our human resource is much cheaper. This is why this bag from our factory only costs you 1,000 USD, but even better quality and craftsmanship.
The Chinese really know how to hit Americans where it hurts, in their ego.
Alright, y'all. There you go. So the Chinese man just broke down what they do to make that bag for $1,000 US dollars, and then they sell it to the Americans for what? $38,000. $38,000 for a bag that only costs $1,000 to make. That's crazy. But you know what? That's the whole business model. That's the basic business model. You buy something cheap, you buy it low, and then you put it on and you put your tag on it, or you put your logo on it and you sell it for high. That's basically what a lot of places are doing. They're getting their shit from China, they're getting it cheap, they throw a logo on it, and now they're gonna sell it high, and you basically just paying for the logo and the brand. I mean, shit, I'm a sneakerhead. I like sneakers. I like nice shoes. I like, dress shoes and good leather shoes and good feeling shoes. And I know all those sneakers and Jordans and things like that are made overseas. They make those sneakers for what, $20, $30? And then they sell a pair of Jordans for $150, $200, $250. So now you got to make the wise decision to say, all right, am I gonna spend $38,000 on a bag just because they got the name and the logo on it, or am I gonna go buy this $1,000 bag from China and it just don't got the name on it, but it's still the same quality, the same material, the same leather, it just don't got the logo. Now you can save $30,000 and put the rest of that into a business fund or a business or some stocks or something that's gonna grow and add wealth and value. I got, we're doing a night show right now, so it's kind of dark. I got all the lights on in the crib, but it's a little dark. So, but this is a nighttime show. I'm getting it in. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. I'm giving y'all game. I'm dropping game. Come on. But this is what happened. I know lately I've been seeing a lot of people riding around on these little scooters. It's like they're little electric bikes and electric scooters that they riding around on, and they get them from overseas. They probably pay $300-$400 for them things, and you can bring it over to America and triple your price. I had a business venture that I was doing. There were some electric pallet jacks that I wanted to get for my drivers, because my drivers, in the trucking industry, sometimes you got to move those pallets and things like that, and it gets heavy. So instead of using a manual pallet jack, I was going to get the drivers some electric pallet jacks, and I started looking. I'm looking at the stores and the prices and all that, and I'm seeing them here in America. They like $2,500, $2,800, $3,000. I'm like, damn, that's a lot. So I looked at Temu, and I was looking at Alibaba, and I was just Google searching the electric pallet jacks, and I found them over in China for like $400. And I was surprised. I said, man, this is a business right here. I could buy the pallet jacks from China, $400-$500, get it shipped over here, and I can resell it $2,800, $3,000. So these tariffs and things like that Trump got going on, man, he might slow the business down a little bit and slow the hustle down. You dig? I like getting shit from China, man. I like getting that cheap shit from them and still rocking. I don't give a fuck. I don't need to impress nobody. The only thing expensive I like is my cars. And I like nice cars, but shit, even China even makes some good cars. China makes, like, a lot of people got this thing where they say they like the Hondas and the Civics and the Subarus and things like that. Because them cars run forever. You could pay $20,000, $25,000 for one of those Hondas or Subarus brand new, and that car will run until the wheels fall off. You ain't got to do much to it. All you got to do is put oil and antifreeze in that bitch and change the brakes, and you'll drive that bitch forever. You dig? So I don't know. I just wanted y'all to see, man. This is where your money is going. You know, you buying your girl that Louis bag, you know, $5,000-$10,000, but it really costs $400-$500 to make. It just don't got the name Louis on it, and it's coming from China instead of you going into the Louis store and buying it over here. That's just that's the nature of things, man. A lot of things that we get here in America and things that we use in America are made overseas because the labor is cheap. It's a lot cheaper. They can do it for less expensive, and they ship it to us and they hike that shit up. That's why when you call customer service, you could never get a motherfucker to speak English. You always got somebody that's overseas talking to you. They don't speak no English. They can't understand you. You can't understand them until you just get frustrated and say, fuck it, I'm hanging up. That's because they asses are all overseas, because the wages are cheaper over there. It's cheaper to pay somebody over there to do the work instead of paying the wages over here for American workers. And I'm guilty of it. I had a website. When I used to do music, I had a website. I had to build a website for my music so I can upload the music and everything. And I wanted to get a website built. And I was looking at the people here in America, and they were charging, you know, $2,000-$3,000. I'm like, oh man, fuck that. So I went online and I found a web builder, and I think she was in, I want to say Indonesia or Korea or something like that. But she built the website, built it in 3 days, and she would be on call for me to ask her to add things to it or take things away and make it bigger and make it better. And she did it for like $30. Yes, she did that website for like $30 fucking dollars. A website that people in America were gonna charge me $2,000 to $3,000 for. So it's all about getting the best bang for your buck. You know, I don't care about labels. I'm not worried about that. I'd rather get the most for my dollar. Because right now the economy is kind of screwed up. You know, a lot of shit going on. So I'm not finna go pay $3,000 for something that I can get done for $20 or $30. That just don't make sense. I can take that extra money and put that into something else that'll make me some money, or stack it away, or get the hustle on. But that's always been the way of business. You buy something low and you sell high. If there's a need for it, there's a demand for it. You know, you can ask your price. You can put your price tag on it. You know, hit that like, share, subscribe button. God Body Sean. Just dropping some game on y'all, letting y'all know, look, you're paying too much for that shit. That shit you buying, you're paying too much. You know, you're paying too much for them bags. A lot of these American-made cars, they trash. You know, they definitely overpriced, and they don't last as long at all. That's really true. You know, a lot of the clothing that you get is made overseas. You know, all that Nike and Adidas and Jordans and all of that shit is made overseas. They put the tags on it, then they bring it back over here. They ship it over here. So that's what you get. That's what you're paying for. You're basically paying for the logo, and you're paying for the label. You know, do what you want with it, and and have your way. But when I saw this, it just made me laugh, because I always knew that. I always figured that. You know, that those bags are made overseas. They're not that damn value. I think people make things more value than what it is. You know, you can make something value by just even making it scarce, or you giving it that value. You know, if you feel it's worth that, then you'll pay that. So that's what it is. But when I saw this, it just made me laugh, and I say, damn, they getting them, man. You got all these celebrities and what they call influencers, closet full of bags. They paying $5,000 to $10,000 to $15,000 and they only cost $1,000 to make. That's some sad shit. But hit that like, share, subscribe button, drop a comment in the comment section. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me, God Body Sean. We're gonna stay consistent with it. Elevation Nation Conversations. I'm dropping game for y'all. You know, giving y'all some game. We talk about everything over here. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. I'm gonna check y'all on the next one. Alright? Peace.
I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm winning.
Elevation Nation Conversations. God Body Sean.